Hey everyone, happy to reach out again to you and share this video. I was reading a passage from a book that I often read from in groups called The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. And it's super cool because it has a entry for every day of the year. And often I do find them quite inspiring. And when I read yesterday's entry, I thought to myself, oh, this would be a great thing to read in a video and then kind of share my thoughts, and hopefully others will share how that reading impacted them. As a manifesting generator in human design, I really need things to respond to. And I realized that by reading this poem, and I can respond to it in the moment and share kind of what's on my mind and on my heart as I read it. And I thought it'd be cool to share that with all of you. So I'll just go ahead and read it. So it's called Being Kind, and it's actually part 1 of 2. And so we'll see if I end up reading part 2, but we'll start with part 1. It begins with a quote. You often say, I would give, but only to the deserving. The trees in your orchard say not so, nor the flocks in your pastures. They give that they may live, for to withhold is to perish. Khalil Gibran. Into the reading. The great and fierce mystic William Blake said, there is no greater act than putting another before you. This speaks to a selfless giving that seems to be at the base of meaningful love. Yet having struggled for a lifetime with letting the needs of others define me, I've come to understand that without the healthiest form of self-love, without honoring the essence of life that this thing called self carries, the way a pod carries a seed. Putting another before you can result in damaging self-sacrifice and endless codependence. I have in many ways over many years suppressed my own need and insights in an effort not to disappoint others, even when no one asked me to. This is not unique to me. Somehow in the course of learning to be good, we have all been asked to wrestle with a false dilemma, being kind to ourselves or being kind to others. In truth, though, being kind to ourselves is a prerequisite to being kind to others. Honoring ourselves is, in fact, the only lasting way to release a truly selfless kindness to others. It is, I believe, as Mencius, the grandson of Confucius, says, that just as water unobstructed will flow downhill, we, given the chance to be what we are, will extend ourselves in kindness. So the real and lasting practice for each of us is to remove what obstructs us so that we can be who we are, holding nothing back. If we can work towards this kind of authenticity, then the living kindness, the water of compassion, will naturally flow. We do not need discipline to be kind, just an open heart. So when I read that, there's 2 parts that really stick out to me. And the first one is that bit about codependence and doing for others instead of doing for yourself. And in my daytime, I work in an addiction center, and I work with people who are struggling with addiction. In my own life, I have totally struggled with this, like putting others first. I think the greatest way to call it is people-pleasing. Definitely a reformed and reforming people pleaser myself. And the thing is that kind of behavior is rooted in necessity. It's rooted in needing to take care of others in order to survive, and we just continue repeating that pattern into our adult life. And as you may be aware, it can cause all sorts of issues. But the main issue is that we're putting others before ourselves. And this whole idea of self-love, self-care, was probably and continues in a small way to be a big part of my healing and my journey, and was very, I really didn't understand what it was. I didn't understand what it meant to take care of myself because I was so focused on taking care of others. So I really love how he spoke about that in this passage, and really brought that to light. Like, we have to put ourselves first, which can seem so foreign and seem so uncomfortable, I guess is the easiest way to say it. The other thing I really loved about the passage was the piece about removing all obstructions so we can be exactly who we are. And that really strikes home for me, because I believe that that's the work that I do with everyone that I work with. And I believe that that's why I'm so passionate about human design, because human design not only shows you that who you are unobstructed, but it kind of shows you where you need to do that work to, remove those obstructions. And we refer to that as conditioning. And again, conditioning comes from all of our life experiences, everything that we've had to endure, all the hardships. And when we get towards authenticity, when we get towards letting that inner light shine, that is really about removing those obstacles and I think integrating them, because I don't think that we get rid of those experiences. I think those experiences actually form who we are. And so I love that this passage really speaks to those two things. I would love to hear what this passage or what I've shared, how it inspired you. So please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and any questions you might have. Like I said earlier, I love to respond, and so being in response, it requires people to ask questions or share their thoughts, and that's really when I get to be at my best. So thanks for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed this passage, and I wish you a wonderful day.